Chosen one, if you're hearing this right now, it's no accident. This isn't just another video. This is a divine appointment, a sacred summons from heaven itself. Your spirit has been called to this moment, and it's not random. You didn't stumble here. You weren't casually scrolling. Something deep within you, something eternal, guided your hand to click on this message. Why? Because God is about to speak directly to your soul. This is not entertainment. This is revelation. This is transformation. This is the moment where worry ends and divine provision begins. So breathe, focus, and prepare your heart, because what's coming next will shift the very foundation of how you see your life. Chosen one, God is funding your life from now on, and it starts today. Let me ask you something that might stir your spirit. Have you ever felt the weight of worry pressing down on you? Bills stacking up, dreams delayed, opportunities slipping through your fingers like sand. Have you ever lain awake at night wondering how you'll make it through, how you'll provide, how you'll survive? That heaviness, that restlessness in your soul, it's not your destiny. It's not your portion. It's a lie from the enemy, designed to distract you from the truth. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are chosen, marked by heaven for a purpose so great that the world cannot contain it. And right now, God is saying, enough. Enough of the fear, enough of the lack, enough of the chains that have held you back. Your financial breakthrough, your divine provision, your abundant life, it's already been signed, sealed, and delivered in the spirit realm. The question is, are you ready to receive it? Think about this for a moment. Why has the enemy fought so hard to keep you worried? Why has he whispered lies of scarcity, planted seeds of doubt, and made you feel like you're always one step behind? Because he knows something you're just beginning to see. He knows that when you step into the fullness of your calling, when you align with God's divine plan, the resources of heaven will flow through you like a river. He's not afraid of your past. He's terrified of your future. But here's the truth, chosen one. The enemy's lies are crumbling today. The walls of lack, the chains of worry, the fog of uncertainty. They're breaking apart because God is stepping in. Psalm 23:1 declares, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." That's not a suggestion, that's a promise. And it's being activated in your life right now. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something prophetic, something that aligns your spirit with this moment. Comment the number 777 below. Why 777? Because it's the number of divine perfection, of God's completion, of heaven's promise fulfilled. When you type 777, you're not just commenting, you're declaring, I'm ready for my breakthrough, I'm claiming God's provision. Let it be a bold signal to the spirit realm that you're awake, you're aligned, and you're stepping into what's yours. Type it prayerfully, type it with faith. And while we're here, let me take a moment to say thank you to every chosen one who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity is sowing into spiritual soil, helping this word reach hearts across the globe. If you feel led to join in, know that your gift, no matter the size, is deeply honored. But even if you don't give a cent, your presence here is a treasure. You are loved, valued, and seen. Now, stay with me, because what's coming next is about to unlock something eternal in your life. Chosen one, let's talk about worry. It's a thief. It steals your peace, your joy, your vision. It clouds your faith and makes you forget who you are. But worry is not just an emotion. It's a strategy of the enemy to keep you from your divine inheritance. Think about the Israelites in the wilderness. For 40 years they wandered, grumbling, doubting, worrying about food, water, and safety. Yet every single day, God provided manna from heaven, water from a rock, and protection from their enemies. They worried, but God funded their journey, and He's funding yours. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." That's not a future promise, that's a present reality. God is not waiting for you to figure it all out. He's already figured it out for you. Have you ever noticed how worry feels like a cycle? You stress about one bill, and as soon as it's paid, another one appears. You overcome one obstacle, and another one rises. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual warfare. The enemy wants you to believe that lack is your identity, that struggle is your story. But God is rewriting that narrative today. He's saying, "Chosen one, your life is not defined by what you lack, it's defined by what I've already provided." Look at Elijah in 1 Kings 17. In the middle of a drought, when the land was dry and the people were starving, God sent ravens to feed him. Ravens, birds that don't even share food with their own young, brought Elijah bread and meat every day. If God can use ravens to fund His prophet, what can He do for you? Your provision isn't coming from your job, your bank account, or your circumstances. It's coming from the Creator of the universe, who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Let me ask you something bold. What if the worry you're carrying right now is a distraction from the miracle God is already releasing? What if the anxiety that's been choking your faith is a smokescreen to keep you from seeing the open door in front of you? You were not created to live in fear. You were created to walk in favor. You were not born to beg for scraps. You were born to steward abundance. And right now, God is inviting you to shift your perspective. Stop looking at what you don't have and start praising Him for what's already on the way. Philippians 4:19 declares, "My God shall supply all your needs according to His riches in glory." That's not a maybe, that's a guarantee. Your needs are already met. Your breakthrough is already funded. Your destiny is already secured. Chosen one, I need you to do something right now. Take a deep breath and release the weight of worry. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. God is saying, "Give it to me. Trust me. I've got this." And when you release that burden, you create space for His provision to flow. Think about Peter walking on water in Matthew 14. As long as his eyes were on Jesus, he defied gravity. But the moment he looked at the waves, he started to sink. Worry is like those waves. It pulls your focus from the one who's calling you forward. So fix your eyes on Him. Trust His timing. Believe His promises. Because the same God who parted the Red Sea, who fed thousands with 5 loaves and 2 fish, who raised Lazarus from the dead, He's working in your life right now. If this message is resonating in your spirit, if you feel that fire igniting within you, I invite you to comment 777 again. Let it be your declaration that you're done with worry, done with fear, done with lack. You're stepping into God's abundance. And chosen one, if you're feeling led to like this video, do it now. It's not just a tap on the screen, it's a prophetic act, a way to say, I'm aligning with this truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls who are awakening to their divine purpose. Your presence in this community is a light that shines brighter with every step you take. Let's go deeper. Why does God want to fund your life? It's not just about paying your bills or clearing your debts, though He will do that. It's about your purpose, your calling, your divine assignment. God doesn't bless you just to make you comfortable. He blesses you to make you a blessing. Look at Abraham in Genesis 12:2. God said, "I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing." Your provision is tied to your impact. The dreams in your heart, the vision you've been carrying, the legacy you're meant to leave, God is funding all of it. That business you've been dreaming of, it's not just a side hustle, it's a kingdom enterprise. That book you've been wanting to write, it's not just a hobby, it's a message that will shift lives. That ministry, that non-profit, that idea that keeps you up at night, it's not a pipe dream. It's a divine mandate, and God is releasing the resources to bring it to life. But here's the key, chosen one. Provision follows obedience. You can't sit back and wait for the money to fall from the sky. You have to move, you have to act, you have to trust. Think about the widow in 2 Kings 4. She was broke, in debt, and about to lose her sons to creditors. But when Elisha told her to gather empty jars and pour out the little oil she had, she didn't hesitate. She obeyed, and the oil kept flowing until every jar was filled. Her obedience unlocked her miracle. What's God asking you to do right now? What step of faith is He calling you to take? Maybe it's starting that project. Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you. Maybe it's letting go of a toxic relationship that's draining your spirit. Whatever it is, your obedience is the key that unlocks the storehouses of heaven. Let me ask you something that might shake you. Have you ever felt like your prayers for provision were hitting a ceiling? Like you've been crying out for a breakthrough, but the silence feels deafening? I want you to hear this clearly. God has not ignored you. Every prayer, every tear, every midnight plea has been collected in heaven's golden bowls, just like Revelation 5:8 says. Your cries are incense before the throne of God. They're not forgotten. They're being activated. And right now, in this very moment, a divine shift is happening. The spiritual atmosphere is changing. The resources you've been waiting for are being released. The doors you've been knocking on are about to swing wide open. But you have to believe it before you see it. Look at Joseph in Genesis 41. He went from a prison cell to the palace in a single day. One moment he was forgotten, betrayed, and abandoned. The next he was second in command of Egypt, managing the nation's wealth. How? Because God's timing is perfect and His provision is precise. Joseph didn't let the years of lack define him. He trusted God's plan even when it didn't make sense. And that's what God is asking of you right now. Trust Him. Even when the bank account is empty, even when the job hasn't come through, even when the dream feels impossible, trust that He is funding your life, not just for survival, but for significance. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic again. Comment 777 one more time. Let it be your bold declaration that you're claiming God's provision, that you're stepping into His abundance, that you're done letting worry steal your peace. And if this message is stirring your soul, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm in agreement with this word. And if you're not yet part of this community, subscribe now to join thousands of chosen ones who are rising into their divine calling. Your presence here is no accident. It's a divine connection. Let's talk about what's coming in the next 7 days. Yes, 7 days. Why 7? Because 7 is the number of divine completion, of God's perfect order, of promises fulfilled. In Joshua 6, the Israelites marched around Jericho for 7 days, and on the 7th day the walls fell. Your walls, those barriers of lack, fear, and delay, are about to crumble. In the next 7 days, God is about to do something so undeniable, so miraculous, that you'll look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. It might be a financial breakthrough, it might be a new opportunity, it might be a revelation that shifts how you see yourself. Whatever it is, it's coming, and it's coming fast. But here's the catch. You have to prepare for it. You have to position yourself. How? Start by speaking life over your situation. Stop confessing lack and start declaring abundance. Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death. Your words are seeds. What you speak today will grow tomorrow. So speak provision, speak favor, speak breakthrough." Next, take action. If God is nudging you to apply for that job, do it. If He's telling you to start that business, take the first step. If He's calling you to give even when it feels risky, trust Him. Your faith has to move before the miracle does. Chosen one, let me share a story that will ignite your faith. Think about George Muller, a man who lived in the 19th century and cared for thousands of orphans without ever asking for a penny. He trusted God alone for provision. One morning, with no food left to feed the children, he gathered them to pray. As they thanked God for breakfast, a knock came at the door. A baker, unable to sleep, had felt led to bring bread. Moments later, a milkman's cart broke down outside, and he donated all his milk to the orphanage. That's not luck, that's divine funding. And the same God who provided for Muller is providing for you. Right now, I want to say thank you to every chosen one who's been sowing into this message through Super Thanks. Your support is a prophetic act, a seed that's multiplying in the spirit realm. If you feel led to give, know that your contribution is helping carry this word to souls who need it. But whether you give or not, you are valued beyond measure. Your heart, your faith, your presence, they're changing the atmosphere. Chosen one, let's go deeper still. Why do you think God is funding your life? It's not just about you. It's about the people you're called to impact, the family you're meant to lift, the community you're destined to transform, the world you're anointed to change. God doesn't bless you to hoard it. He blesses you to pour it out. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She came from poverty, abuse, and rejection, but she trusted God's plan for her life. Today, she's not just wealthy, she's a global force for good, funding schools, empowering women, and inspiring millions. Her provision wasn't just for her, it was for her purpose. And the same is true for you. What's the dream God has placed in your heart? That vision that feels too big, too impossible? That's not a fantasy, that's your assignment, and God is funding it. He's not asking you to have it all figured out. He's asking you to trust Him and take the next step. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." When you prioritize God's purpose, His provision follows. So stop worrying about the how. Stop stressing about the when. God's got the details covered. Your job is to stay aligned, stay obedient, and stay expectant. Chosen one, I want you to do something bold right now. Comment 7777 again. Let it be your prophetic seal, that you're claiming this word, that you're stepping into God's divine funding, that you're done letting worry define your story. And if this message is setting your spirit on fire, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm all in. And if you're not yet subscribed, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together, we're building a community of faith, purpose, and breakthrough. Let me ask you something that might pierce your soul. Have you ever felt like you're carrying a burden that's too heavy? Like the weight of your responsibilities, your dreams, your struggles is crushing you? I want you to hear this. You were never meant to carry it alone. God is saying, cast your cares on me, for I care for you. 1 Peter 5:7. That business you're trying to start, He's funding it. That debt you're trying to pay off, He's covering it. That dream you've buried under years of disappointment, He's resurrecting it. But you have to let go of the worry. You have to trust His process. You have to believe His promises. Think about David in 1 Samuel 17. When he faced Goliath, he didn't have the resources the other soldiers had. No armor, no sword, no army. Just a sling, 5 stones, and a faith that could move mountains. And with that, he took down a giant. Your giant, whether it's debt, fear, or lack, is no match for God's provision. Your sling is your faith. Your stones are your obedience. And your victory is already written. So stop worrying about what you don't have, and start praising God for what He's about to do. Let's talk about what it means to live in divine funding. It's not just about money. It's about peace. It's about purpose. It's about knowing that every need is met, every dream is possible, every step is guided. When God funds your life, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just get by, you overflow. Look at the feeding of the 5,000 in John 6. Jesus took a boy's lunch, 5 loaves and 2 fish, and turned it into a feast for thousands with leftovers to spare. That's the kind of God you serve. He doesn't just meet the need, He exceeds it. He doesn't just provide, He multiplies. So what's stopping you from stepping into this reality? Is it fear? Doubt? The voice that says, this is too good to be true? Let me tell you something. God's promises are not too good to be true. They're too good to ignore. The enemy wants you to stay small, to stay stuck, to stay worried. But God is calling you to rise, to dream, to believe. Your breakthrough is not waiting for perfect condition. It's waiting for your yes to trust Him, your yes to obey Him, your yes to believe that He is funding your life starting now. Chosen one, I want you to do something prophetic one more time. Comment 777 below. Let it be your final declaration that you're done with worry, done with lack, done with fear. You're stepping into God's divine provision. And if this message is igniting your faith, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm claiming this word. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together, we're rising into our divine purpose. In the next 7 days, God is about to move in ways you can't imagine. That financial struggle? It's about to shift. That dream you've been holding on to? It's about to take flight. That weight of worry? It's about to lift. But you have to stay aligned. You have to stay expectant. You have to stay obedient. Write down today's date. Mark it as the day you stopped worrying and started trusting. Because 7 days from now, you look back and say, that was the moment God funded my life. Chosen one, let me share one final story to seal this word in your spirit. Think about Nick Vujicic, a man born without arms or legs. The world told him he was limited, that his life would be a burden. But Nick trusted God's plan. Today, he's a global speaker, author, and evangelist, inspiring millions with his message of hope. His provision didn't come from what he lacked. It came from what God supplied. And the same God who funded Nick's purpose is funding yours. Your limitations are not your story, your faith is. Right now, I want to thank every chosen one who's been sowing into this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity is a powerful act of faith, helping this word reach souls who need it most. If you feel led to give, know that your gift is cherished. But whether you give or not, You are loved, valued, and seen. Your presence is a light in this world. Chosen one, this is your moment. Stop worrying. God is funding your life from now on. Your provision is not delayed. Your breakthrough is not denied. Your destiny is not derailed. In the next 7 days, watch for the signs. Watch for the doors. Watch for the miracles, because God is moving, and He's moving for you. Comment 777 one last time. Hit that like button. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones. And get ready, because your life is about to change forever. Chosen one, let's dive even deeper into this divine moment, because the fire in your spirit is only growing stronger. You're not just hearing these words, you're feeling them, sensing them, knowing in the depths of your soul that something eternal is shifting. This isn't a fleeting spark. This is a holy blaze, a supernatural awakening that's setting the stage for God's provision to flood your life like never before. You're standing on the edge of a breakthrough so powerful, it will redefine everything you thought was possible. So stay with me, keep your heart open, and let's run toward the promise together, because God is not just funding your life, He's funding your legacy. Picture this for a moment. Imagine a river, wide and mighty, its currents unstoppable, carrying everything in its path toward destiny. That river is God's provision, and you, chosen one, are not meant to stand on the shore watching it pass by. You're meant to dive in, to let its flow carry you to places you've only dreamed of. The enemy has tried to keep you on the sidelines, whispering that you're not ready, that you don't have enough, that the current is too strong. But God is saying, jump in, trust the flow. I've already charted the course. Your provision isn't something you have to chase. It's something you step into. It's already moving, already aligned, already yours. All you need to do is say yes to the river. Let me ask you something that might rattle your soul. When was the last time you dared to dream without limits? Not the cautious dreams, the ones you've tamed to fit your circumstances, but the wild, God-sized dreams that make your heart race and your spirit soar. The dreams that feel too big, too bold, too impossible for where you are right now. Those dreams aren't fantasies, they're blueprints, etched in heaven's scrolls before you were born. And God is funding every single one of them, not because you've earned it, but because He's ordained it. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." Immeasurably more. That's not a small promise. That's a divine explosion of possibility, and it's breaking loose in your life right now. Chosen one, the reason worry has been so relentless is because the enemy knows what's at stake. He knows that when you step into God's provision, you're not just changing your life, you're changing generations. Your breakthrough isn't just about paying off debt or starting that business. It's about breaking cycles of lack, shattering strongholds of fear, and paving a path for those who will follow you. You're not just a dreamer. You're a trailblazer, a pioneer, a kingdom architect. And God is releasing the resources to build what He's shown you in the Spirit. So stop apologizing for your vision. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit the world's expectations. God didn't call you to play small. He called you to shift the atmosphere. Let's talk about what it looks like to live in divine funding. It's not about waiting for a windfall or hoping for a lucky break. It's about walking in a mindset of abundance, where every step you take is backed by heaven's resources. Think about Daniel in Daniel 6. Thrown into a lion's den, surrounded by danger, he didn't panic. He trusted God's provision. And what happened? God shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel came out not just alive, but promoted. Your lions, those fears, those debts, those doubts, are about to be silenced. And when they are, you won't just walk out, you'll rise higher, carrying an authority that only comes from trusting God's plan. Chosen one, I want you to do something prophetic right now. Comment 777 below. Let it be your bold declaration that you're diving into the river of God's provision, that you're done standing on the shore, that you're claiming every promise He's spoken over you. Type it with faith, type it with fire, and if this message is setting your soul ablaze, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm all in for this breakthrough. And if you haven't joined this community yet, subscribe now to stand shoulder to shoulder with thousands of chosen ones who are stepping into their divine purpose. Your presence here is a spark that's igniting a global fire. Let me take you to a moment in Scripture that will set your spirit free. In 2 Chronicles 20, King Jehoshaphat faced an impossible battle. Armies were closing in, and his resources were no match for the enemy. But God told him, "Do not be afraid or discouraged because of this vast army, for the battle is not yours but God's." Jehoshaphat didn't strategize his way out, he worshipped. He sent singers ahead of his army, praising God before the victory was visible. And what happened? The enemy turned on itself, and Jehoshaphat's army didn't even have to fight. They walked away with plunder so abundant it took 3 days to carry it all. Chosen one, your battle is not yours, your provision is not your burden. Start praising God now, before the breakthrough arrives. Your worship is your weapon, and it's unlocking heaven's storehouses. Have you ever felt like you're fighting a battle you can't win? Like the odds are stacked against you, and no matter how hard you try, you're coming up short. That's not a sign of defeat. That's a sign you're on the verge of a miracle. God specializes in impossible situations. He thrives in the moments when the world says, "There's no way." Look at Gideon in Judges 7. He had 32,000 men to fight a massive army, but God trimmed his army down to 300. Why? Because God wanted the victory to be undeniable. With 300 men, pitchers, torches, and trumpets, Gideon defeated an army of thousands. Your small resources, your limited connections, your seemingly impossible odds, they're not a curse, they're a setup for God to show up and show off. Let me ask you something that might pierce your core. What if the provision you've been praying for is already here, waiting for you to claim it? What if the delay isn't God saying no, but God saying, prepare your heart? Too often we think provision is just money, but God's funding is so much bigger. It's wisdom to make the right decisions. It's favor to open impossible doors. It's strength to keep going when you want to quit. It's peace that guards your mind when chaos rages. God is funding every part of your journey, your health, your relationships, your purpose. And He's doing it right now, in ways you can't yet see. Think about Ruth in the book of Ruth. She was a widow, an outsider with nothing to her name, but she trusted God's leading, gleaning in the fields of Boaz. She didn't know it, but every step she took was divinely orchestrated. Her obedience led to provision, protection, and a legacy that placed her in the lineage of Jesus. Your steps are not random. Your struggles are not wasted. Every moment of faith, every act of trust, every prayer you've whispered in the dark, it's leading you to a harvest you can't yet imagine. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. Your Boaz moment is coming, and it's bringing provision beyond your wildest dreams. Chosen one, I need you to do something bold right now. Comment 777 again. Let it be your prophetic seal that you're claiming God's funding, that you're trusting His plan, that you're ready for the harvest. Type it with conviction. Type it with expectancy. And if this message is stirring your soul, hit that like button. It's a way to declare, I'm stepping into this promise. And if you're not yet part of this community, subscribe now to join thousands of chosen ones who are rising into their divine calling. Together, we're building a movement of faith and fire. Let's talk about the next 7 days again, because this is not a casual countdown. This is a divine timeline, a sacred window where heaven is aligning things in your favor. In Genesis 1, God created the world in 7 days, speaking light into darkness, order into chaos. Right now, He's speaking light into your finances, order into your dreams, life into your purpose. These 7 days are not ordinary. They're pregnant with possibility, charged with divine energy. That job you've been praying for? Get ready. It's about to call. That debt that's been looming, watch it dissolve. That vision that's been burning in your heart, it's about to take shape. But you have to stay in position. You have to stay expectant. You have to stay obedient. What does obedience look like in this moment? It's praising God when you don't see the answer yet. It's giving when you feel like you have nothing left. It's forgiving when it hurts. It's starting when you don't feel ready. Look at Noah in Genesis 6. God told him to build an ark when there wasn't a cloud in the sky. The world mocked him, but Noah obeyed. And when the floods came, he wasn't just saved, he was elevated. Your ark might be that resume you need to send, that conversation you need to have, that seed you need to sow. Whatever it is, build it. Trust it. God's provision is tied to your action. Chosen one, let me share a story that will set your faith on fire. Think about J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter while living on welfare, rejected by publisher after publisher. She could have given up, drowned in worry, accepted lack as her story. But she kept writing, kept believing, kept trusting. Today her books have sold over 500 million copies, and she's one of the most influential authors in history. Her provision didn't come from her circumstances. It came from her persistence. God is calling you to persist. Your story isn't over. Your breakthrough is just beginning. Right now, I want to say thank you to every chosen one who's been supporting this message through Super Thanks. Your gifts are a powerful seed, carrying this word to souls who need it most. If you feel led to give, know that your contribution is cherished and honored. But whether you give or not, you are loved beyond measure. Your faith is a light that's piercing the darkness. Let's go deeper still. Why does God fund your life? Because you're not just here for yourself. You're here for a mission. You're here to heal, to build, to inspire, to lead. Every dollar, every opportunity, every resource God sends is a tool for your assignment. Look at Nehemiah in Nehemiah 2. He had a vision to rebuild Jerusalem's walls, but he had no resources. So what did he do? He prayed, he trusted, and he asked the king for provision. And the king didn't just give him materials, he gave him protection, authority, and favor. God is about to give you more than you ask for, not just the provision, but the protection, the authority, the favor to carry out your calling. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic one more time. Comment 777 below. Let it be your declaration that you're ready for God's provision, that you're trusting His favor, that you're stepping into your assignment. Type it with boldness, type it with faith. And if this message is igniting your spirit, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm claiming this word, and if you haven't subscribed yet, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together, we're rising into our divine purpose. Let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. What if the provision you need is already in your hands, but you haven't recognized it? What if the seed for your harvest is already planted, but you haven't watered it with faith? Look at the boy in John 6 who gave his 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't much, but in Jesus' hands it became a miracle. Your not much is enough for God, your small step. Your tiny seed, your mustard seed faith, it's enough to move mountains. So stop waiting for more. Start working with what you have. God's provision isn't limited by your resources. It's unleashed by your obedience. Chosen one, you are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your present. You are destined for a future so bright, it will blind the doubts that once held you back. In the next 7 days, watch for the signs. Watch for the whispers of heaven. Watch for the doors that swing open, the connections that form, the ideas that spark. God is funding your life not just for today, but for eternity. So rise up. Trust Him. Move forward. Your breakthrough is here, and it's only the beginning. Chosen one, we're not slowing down, because the fire in your spirit is burning hotter with every word. You're not just listening to this message. You're living it, breathing it, stepping into a divine rhythm that's pulling you closer to your destiny. This is no ordinary moment. This is a sacred collision of heaven's promises and your faith, a supernatural surge that's rewriting your story in real time. God is funding your life, not with temporary fixes or fleeting blessings, but with an overflow so abundant it will spill into every corner of your purpose. So lean in, keep your heart wide open, and let's charge toward the miracle that's already unfolding, because you were born for this, and the heavens are cheering you on. Let me paint a picture for your soul. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, its waves roaring with power, its depths holding treasures you can't yet see. That ocean is God's provision, and it's not a distant dream. It's right here, right now, lapping at your feet. The enemy has tried to convince you that you're stranded, that the waves are too wild, that you'll never reach the riches God has promised. But God is saying, step into the water, trust the tide. I've already carved the path. Your provision isn't something you have to beg for. It's something you walk into with boldness, with faith, with the unshakable certainty that the Creator of the universe has your name written on every wave. Let me ask you something that might set your spirit ablaze. When was the last time you felt truly free? Not just free from bills or stress, but free from the weight of doubt, the chains of fear, the lies that told you you're not enough. That freedom is your birthright, chosen one, and God is restoring it today. He's not just funding your bank account, He's funding your confidence, your courage, your calling. Psalm 37:4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." That's not a casual suggestion. That's a divine guarantee. The desires in your heart, the ones that keep you up at night, the ones that make your soul ache with possibility, they're not accidents. They're assignments, and God is releasing the resources to bring them to life. The enemy has fought hard to keep you distracted, to keep you focused on what's missing instead of what's coming. But here's the truth. Every attack, every setback, every moment of lack was just a setup for God to show up in a way that leaves no doubt. Think about Lazarus in John 11. He was dead, buried, gone for 4 days. The world said it was over. His sisters wept, his friends mourned. But Jesus said, "Lazarus, come forth." And in an instant, death bowed to life. Your situation might look dead, your finances, your dreams, your hope, but God is calling it forth. He's speaking life into your dry places, provision into your empty places, victory into your impossible places. So stop burying what God is resurrecting. Start praising Him for what's about to rise. Chosen one, I want you to do something prophetic right now. Comment 777 below. Let it be your bold declaration that you're stepping into the ocean of God's provision, that you're done with doubt, that you're claiming every treasure He's promised. Type it with fire, type it with faith. And if this message is igniting your soul, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm ready for this miracle. And if you haven't joined this community yet, subscribe now to stand with thousands of chosen ones who are charging toward their divine purpose. Your presence here is a spark that's setting the world ablaze. Let's talk about the power of expectation. Expectation is not wishful thinking, it's spiritual warfare. When you expect God to move, you're not just hoping for a miracle, you're declaring war on the enemy's lies. Look at Hannah in 1 Samuel 1. She was barren, mocked, and broken-hearted, but she didn't let her circumstances define her. She prayed, she worshipped, she expected God to answer, and when she poured out her soul at the altar, God didn't just give her a child, He gave her Samuel, a prophet who shifted a nation. Your expectation is a seed, chosen one. What you believe for today will shape what you receive tomorrow, so start expecting provision. Expect favor. Expect breakthroughs that make the world take notice. Because when you align your expectation with God's promises, the impossible becomes your reality. Have you ever felt like you're carrying a vision that's too heavy for your hands? Like the dreams God has given you are so big they scare you? That's not a sign to shrink back, it's a sign to press forward. God doesn't give small visions to His chosen ones. He gives world-changing, generation-shifting, history-making visions. And He funds every single one. Think about Moses in Exodus 3. He was a fugitive, a shepherd in the desert when God called him to lead a nation out of slavery. Moses didn't have the resources, the eloquence, or the confidence. But God said, I will be with you. And with that promise, Moses parted seas, defeated armies, and led millions to freedom. Your vision might feel impossible, but God's provision is unstoppable. He's not asking you to have it all together. He's asking you to trust Him and move. Chosen one, I want to pause and say thank you to every single one of you who's been sowing into this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity is a sacred act, a seed that's multiplying this word to touch hearts across the globe. If you feel stirred to contribute, know that your gift, no matter the size, is helping carry this fire further. But whether you give or not, you are cherished. Your faith, your presence, your heart, they're shifting the spiritual atmosphere. Now let's keep charging toward the promise, because God is moving faster than you can imagine. Let me ask you something that might pierce your soul. What if the provision you're waiting for is already in motion, but you've been too focused on the problem to see it? What if God has already dispatched angels, aligned opportunities, and unlocked doors, but you're still staring at the locked ones? Matthew 17:20 says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Your faith doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be present. Speak to your mountain, declare provision over your finances, command breakthrough over your dreams, because when you speak with faith, heaven responds with power. Let's go back to Scripture for a moment. In 1 Kings 18, Elijah prayed for rain after a 3-year drought. He sent his servant to look for a cloud, and 6 times the servant saw nothing. But on the 7th time he saw a cloud the size of a man's hand. That tiny cloud was enough to bring a deluge that ended the drought. Chosen one, your cloud is rising. It might look small right now, a job offer, a kind word, a new idea. But don't despise it. That small sign is the beginning of a flood of provision. So keep looking, keep praying, keep expecting. Your 7th time is coming, and it's bringing rain that will water every dry place in your life. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic again. Comment 777 below. Let it be your declaration that you see your cloud, that you're expecting your rain, that you're ready for God's provision to flood your life. Type it with boldness, type it with expectancy. And if this message is setting your spirit on fire, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm claiming this promise. And if you're not yet part of this community, subscribe now to join thousands of chosen ones who are rising into their divine calling. Together, we're building a movement that's shaking the heavens. Let's talk about what it means to walk in divine funding. It's not just about money, it's about authority. When God funds your life, He gives you the authority to walk into rooms and shift atmospheres, to speak words that change lives, to carry a presence that commands respect. Think about Esther in Esther 4. She was an orphan, a nobody by the world's standards, but God positioned her as queen. When she walked into the king's court, uninvited, she didn't just save her people, she shifted history. Your provision comes with a mantle, chosen one. It's not just about paying bills, it's about fulfilling your purpose. God is funding your authority to lead, to heal, to create, to inspire. So stop waiting for permission. You've already been anointed. Have you ever felt like your breakthrough is taking too long? Like you've been faithful, but the promise is still out of reach? I want you to hear this. Your delay is not denial. It's preparation. God is not making you wait to punish you. He's making you wait to prepare you. Look at David in 1 Samuel 16. He was anointed as king, but he didn't sit on the throne for years. He faced giants, ran from Saul, hid in caves, but every trial was forging him into the leader Israel needed. Your trials are forging you. That rejection, it's teaching you resilience. That financial struggle, it's teaching you trust. That dream that feels delayed, it's growing roots deep enough to sustain the harvest. So keep standing, keep believing. Your throne is coming. Let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. What if the provision you need is already inside you? What if the gifts, the talents, the ideas God has given you are the seeds for your harvest? Too often, we look outside for the answer, waiting for a check, a job, a miracle. But God has already planted the miracle in you. Think about the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The master gave his servants talents, and the ones who used them multiplied their resources. The one who buried his talent lost everything. Your talent, your creativity, your passion, your vision is your currency. Start using it. Start sharing it. Start trusting it. Because when you invest what God has given you, He multiplies it beyond your wildest dreams. Let's talk about a real-life example that will set your faith on fire. Think about Tyler Perry. He was homeless, rejected and broke, writing plays that nobody came to see. But he didn't give up. He trusted God's vision for his life, and today he's a media mogul, employing hundreds and inspiring millions. His provision didn't come from his circumstances. It came from his obedience. God is calling you to obey, chosen one. That script you've been writing, finish it. That business you've been planning, launch it. That idea you've been sitting on, act on it. Your obedience is the key that unlocks God's funding. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic one more time. Comment 777 below. Let it be your seal that you're using your talents, that you're trusting God's plan, that you're ready for the multiplication. Type it with conviction. Type it with faith. And if this message is igniting your spirit, hit that like button. It's a way to declare, I'm stepping into this word. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together we're rising into our divine purpose. In these next 7 days, God is about to move in ways that will leave you speechless. That financial burden, it's about to lift. That dream you've been carrying, it's about to take root. That fear that's been holding you back, it's about to shatter. But you have to stay in the flow. You have to stay expectant. You have to stay bold. Write down today's date. Mark it as the day you chose faith over fear, provision over lack, destiny over doubt. 7 days from now, you'll look back and say, that was the moment God changed everything. Chosen one, we're still running, and the fire in your spirit is blazing brighter than ever. This isn't just a message. It's a divine current, pulling you into a destiny so vast it could light up the heavens. You're not here by chance. You're not scrolling aimlessly. You're standing in a sacred moment where God's provision is crashing into your life like a tidal wave, ready to sweep away every trace of worry and lack. This is your hour, your season, your now. God is funding your life with a force so unstoppable, it will rewrite your story and echo through generations. So keep your eyes fixed, your heart open, and let's charge deeper into this promise, because you were born to conquer, and the heavens are roaring your name. Let me ask you something that might shake the foundations of your soul. Have you ever felt a stirring so deep it felt like your spirit was trying to break free? Like there's a version of you, bolder, stronger, unstoppable, waiting to step out of the shadows? That's not imagination. That's revelation. That's God calling the real you to rise. The you He designed before time began. The enemy has tried to bury that version of you under layers of fear, doubt, and financial strain. But God is peeling back those layers today. He's saying, enough hiding, enough hesitating. It's time to shine. Isaiah 61 declares, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That's not a future hope. That's a present command. Your light is here, chosen one, and God is funding it with every resource heaven holds. Think about the eagle for a moment. It doesn't flap frantically like other birds. It soars, catching the wind, letting the currents lift it higher. That's you, chosen one. You're not meant to scramble, to claw your way through life, to beg for scraps. You're meant to soar, to ride the winds of God's provision, to rise above the storms that try to pull you down. The enemy wants you grounded, tethered to worry, chained to lack. But God is cutting those chains right now. He's releasing the wind of His Spirit to lift you, to carry you, to propel you into heights you've never dared to imagine. So, spread your wings, trust the wind. Your provision is not a struggle, it's a flight, and it's taking you straight to your purpose. Chosen one, I want you to do something prophetic right now. Comment 777 below. Let it be your bold declaration that you're soaring with God's provision, that you're done with the ground, that you're claiming the heights He's promised. Type it with fire, type it with faith. And if this message is setting your soul ablaze, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm rising into this promise. And if you haven't joined this community yet, subscribe now to stand with thousands of chosen ones who are soaring into their divine calling. Your presence here is a spark that's igniting a global revival. Let's talk about the power of your voice. Your voice is not just sound, it's a weapon, a key, a force that shifts the spiritual realm. When you speak God's promises, you're not just talking, you're creating. Genesis 1 shows us that God spoke the world into existence. Let there be light, he said, and light was. You carry that same creative power in your words, chosen one, when you declare, God is funding my life. You're not just hoping, you're activating. When you say, my breakthrough is here, you're not just wishing, you're commanding. So stop speaking lack, stop confessing defeat, start speaking provision. Start declaring favor, start commanding doors to open. Because when you align your voice with heaven's truth, the natural world has no choice but to bow. Have you ever felt like your prayers are stuck, like they're bouncing off the ceiling? I want you to hear this. Your prayers are not lost. They're not ignored. They're stored in heaven's vaults, waiting for the perfect moment to pour out like rain. Revelation 8:3 says that the prayers of the saints rise like incense before God's throne. Every cry, every whisper, every plea you've uttered in the dark, God has collected them all. And right now, those prayers are being released as answers, as provision, as miracles. That job you've been praying for? It's coming. That debt you've been battling, it's dissolving. That dream you've held on to through tears, it's manifesting. Your prayers are not in vain. They're the fuel for your breakthrough. Chosen one, I want to pause and say thank you to every single one of you who's been sowing into this message through super thanks. Your generosity is a holy seed, multiplying this word to reach hearts across the earth. If you feel stirred to contribute, know that your gift, no matter how small, is helping carry this fire further. But whether you give or not, you are cherished beyond measure. Your faith, your presence, your heart, they are shifting the spiritual atmosphere. Now, let's keep pressing forward because God is moving with relentless power. Let me ask you something that might pierce your core. What if the provision you're seeking is already in your hands, disguised as a challenge? What if the struggle you're facing is the very soil where your miracle is growing? Think about Jacob in Genesis 32. He wrestled with God all night, refusing to let go until he received a blessing. That wrestle wasn't a punishment, it was a promotion. In the struggle, Jacob's identity was transformed from deceiver to Israel, a prince with God. Your wrestle, whether it's financial, emotional, or spiritual, is not here to break you, it's here to bless you. It's here to birth something new. So keep wrestling, keep holding on. Your blessing is closer than you think. Let's go to a real-life story that will set your faith on fire. Think about Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination, faced bankruptcy, and saw his early dreams crumble. But he didn't let failure define him. He trusted the vision God placed in his heart, and today, Disney's legacy touches every corner of the globe, inspiring millions. His provision didn't come from his circumstances, it came from his persistence. God is calling you to persist, chosen one. That idea you've been doubting, pursue it. That dream you've been delaying, start it. Your provision is tied to your pursuit, and God is funding every step. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic again. Comment 777 below. Let it be your declaration that you're wrestling for your blessing, that you're pursuing your vision, that you're ready for God's provision to overflow. Type it with boldness. Type it with expectancy. And if this message is igniting your spirit, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm claiming this word. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together, we're building a movement that's shaking the earth. Let's talk about the power of alignment. Alignment is not just about doing the right things, it's about being the right person. When you align your heart, your mind, and your actions with God's purpose, provision flows like a river. Look at Mary in Luke 1. When the angel told her she would give birth to the Savior, she didn't have the resources, the status, or the plan. But she said, "Let it be to me according to your word." That alignment unlocked the greatest miracle in history. Your "let it be" moment is here, chosen one. Align your thoughts with God's promises. Align your steps with His calling. Align your heart with His love. Because when you're aligned, provision doesn't just show up, it overtakes you. Have you ever felt like you're running out of time? Like the clock is ticking and your dreams are slipping away? I want you to hear this. God's timing is perfect, and your season is now. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." Your purpose has a time, and that time is today. You're not too late, you're not too old, you're not too broken. God is syncing your life with His divine clock, and what's about to unfold will make up for every lost year. So stop counting the days you've waited. Start counting the miracles that are coming. Your provision is not delayed, it's divinely timed. Let me ask you something that might set your soul on fire. What if the provision you need is waiting for you to step out in faith? What if the miracle is on the other side of your courage? Think about Peter in Matthew 14. When Jesus called him to walk on water, the storm was raging, the waves were crashing, and the boat was shaking. But Peter didn't wait for calm waters. He stepped out, and the impossible became his reality. Your storm, your financial strain, your uncertainty, your fear is not a barrier. It's a bridge. Step out. Trust God. Your provision is waiting on the water, and it's calling your name. Let's talk about the power of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a frequency, a vibration that aligns you with heaven's abundance. When you give thanks, even in the midst of lack, you're telling God, I trust you, I believe you, I know you're working. Look at Paul and Silas in Acts 16. They were in prison, beaten, chained, with no hope in sight. But at midnight they prayed and sang praises to God. And what happened? The prison shook, the chains broke, and the doors flew open. Your gratitude is your midnight song, chosen one. Start thanking God now, before the money comes, before the door opens, before the dream manifests. Because when you praise in the prison, God sends an earthquake. Chosen one, I need you to do something prophetic one more time. Comment 777 below. Let it be your song of gratitude, your declaration that you're trusting God's provision, that you're ready for the earthquake. Type it with conviction, type it with faith. And if this message is setting your spirit on fire, hit that like button. It's a way to say, I'm praising in advance. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join thousands of chosen ones by hitting that subscribe button. Together, we're rising into our divine purpose. Let's go deeper still. Why does God fund your life? Because you're not just a survivor, you're a builder. You're not just here to get by. You're here to establish something eternal. Look at Solomon in 1 Kings 5. When he set out to build the temple, he didn't have all the resources up front, but God provided cedar, gold, and workers from every direction. Solomon's vision wasn't just a building, it was a legacy, a place for God's presence to dwell. Your vision is your temple, chosen one. That business, that ministry, that family you're fighting for, it's a legacy, and God is funding it with everything you need to build it strong. Have you ever felt like your dreams are too big for your reality? Like the gap between where you are and where you want to be is impossible to cross? That gap is not a curse, it's a canvas. God is painting a masterpiece in your life, and every step of faith is a brushstroke. Think about Sarah in Genesis 21. She was 90 years old, barren, and laughed at the idea of having a child. But God said, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" And Sarah gave birth to Isaac, the child of promise. Your too big dream is not too hard for God. Your impossible vision is not out of reach. God is funding it, and He's making it happen in ways that will leave you in awe. Chosen one. I want to say thank you again to everyone who's been sowing into this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity is a seed that's multiplying, touching lives you may never meet this side of eternity. If you feel led to give, know that your contribution is helping carry this word to souls who need it. But whether you give or not, you are valued beyond measure. Your faith is changing the atmosphere. Let me ask you something that might pierce your soul. What if the provision you're praying for is already in the room? What if the people, the ideas, the opportunities God has placed around you are the keys to your breakthrough? Too often we look far away for the answer when God has already placed it close. Look at Andrew in John 6. When Jesus needed to feed 5,000 people, Andrew didn't focus on what they didn't have. He brought a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Jesus to work a miracle. Your not much is enough, chosen one. That connection, that skill, that small step, it's the seed for your harvest. So start looking around, start giving thanks, start moving with what you have, because God is about to multiply it beyond your wildest dreams. Chosen one, you are not defined by your past struggles. You are not limited by your current reality. You are destined for a future so glorious, it will outshine every shadow that's ever tried to dim your light. In these next 7 days, watch for the signs. Watch for the people who show up, the ideas that spark, the doors that open. God is funding your life, and He's doing it with a power that no force in heaven or earth can stop. So rise up, trust Him, move forward. Your provision is here, and it's carrying you to places you've never dared to dream.